Separation from main transport complete. Group 8 delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention Pioneer, I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant. Welcome to the Fixit Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fixit Pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fixit selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you. Fixit. Short-term solutions to long-term problems.
Hey everyone, welcome to Satisfactory. So this game has finally left early access and entered its 1.0 release, and I am super excited to hop back in and check out all the new stuff. I haven't played in probably 2 updates now, but some of my very first videos on the channel were Satisfactory, and it's one of my favorite games. So I'm really excited to hop back in here and check a bunch of stuff out. Now, we are starting with the tutorial stuff just because I don't know what's changed. I know a lot of the map has been changed, a lot of things are different, so I don't want to miss anything. And as you saw in the little intro video, we already know that there's some kind of corruption in our AI machine person. So there's gonna be some interesting stuff here. First things first though, let's follow the tutorial and kind of get going on this stuff. So we need to equip our Xeno Zapper. I am gonna skip her talking though, because I think a lot of it is just gonna be basic stuff from before.
Next objective.
So basically what we're going to do is we are trying to not so much terraform the planet, but it sounds like we're trying to save Earth by destroying a different planet is kind of how it sounds. So I do have a plan to kind of go over this direction for our first base. But before I go over there, I want to do a little bit of exploring and kind of find a few things just to see if there's anything different around here and kind of get my bearings on where I am. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I want to go. But there's a couple of drop pods that are not far from here. Now the drop pods all have, they kind of have like resources laying around with them and stuff. And some of it's really good for early game, as well as the ability to get some hard drives, which a hard drive, if you're not familiar with, basically is an alternate recipe you can research that kind of changes your production lines as you go. So some of the things, if you get them early enough, you might never actually use the default production line, which I think is awesome because some of it's just way better. So it makes more sense to kind of farm some of these things early. And there's one right there. There's another one kind of over here. So I'm gonna grab these. I'm gonna fight these guys really quick and we'll grab this stuff. And then we'll kind of get started once I'm a little bit closer to the area I want to build in. So I'll bring you guys back. No, yeah, I'll fight these guys and I'll bring you guys back kind of when we're moving forward. All right, what do we got? We got screws, reinforced plates, some rotors, bunch of rods. That'll be really important early. Oh, 150 cable. That's huge to start. And 74 plates. That's awesome. That's like everything we need to get through like the basic tutorial stuff. In here now, this is going to take rotors, which we just found. So as you can see, these require some kind of item. Not always, but usually they require something.
Damaged hard drive.
There's a lizard doggo right there. We need to get those eventually. We need to collect those guys. I think we can do something with them now, like you can train them or something.
Which may result in
I've never really done stuff with them before, so I don't even know how to train them, to be honest. Looks like we have another one here. Now this should have plates. Yeah, that's plates, screws. There's gonna be butterflies we need to kill, and I think I pulled both sets of them. Oh no. Okay, this is not actually good. Let's step back so we don't actually die trying to kill these things. A little bit of copper sheeting. Now let's take this out real quick before we take much more damage.
Samples of unknown, but initial.
And this one doesn't require anything, which is awesome. 2 hard drives to start is a really good beginning. It's always, in my opinion, it's always good to have those as early as you can for at least a couple of the recipes. Basically, I'm looking for some iron plate alternatives, maybe some screw alternatives. But anyways, we're gonna go kind of over in this area and get started. So I'll head this way and I'll bring you guys right back. So this area here is one of my favorite areas to build in. I don't know if I've ever started a game here, but I always kind of tend to migrate my way over here. It's such a cool little location. We got a waterfall and stuff back there. Like, it's very picturesque with the lake right here, the waterfall. There's tons of resources as well. So right here, we've got 2 iron nodes. On top of this hill, there's another one. There should be a copper node right there. I think there's limestone here and a little bit back in that area. Unless they've changed it, there's coal on top of the big mountain back there. There's all kinds of stuff here. And from here, I think I have a pretty good visual of what I want to do. I picture a road going across here out into the mountains over to the ocean area. Maybe putting our space elevator kind of back here somewhere. I'm not sure. I can see a few different ideas. But first, before we do any of that, we need to do the tutorial, which requires us to scan for the rocks that are right here and to, unfortunately, use our chisel to hand bomb a bunch of iron.
Next objective.
But then we can go ahead and we can build our hub. Now our hub is like our main actual base. I'm gonna skip what you say again.
Hub foundation, but essential. Next.
So you can see we have a very basic bones structure here. Now, the onboarding process, the tutorial, is gonna basically take us through building this and showing us all the features and stuff. Hopefully we'll kind of go through these relatively fast, but I actually put this backwards too, from how I want it. Let's do this way. Yeah. The reason for that is we're gonna get power. It's not where I want it either, but we're gonna get power over here, which we'll be able to use on these 2 nodes. I'll probably push this back so I can use this node shortly. But anyways, before that, tier 0, we need 10 iron rods, which thankfully we've already picked those up. Let's upgrade. So tier 0 gave us the ability to do a portable miner. We're not gonna put that down quite yet. In fact, we're going to use the rods and plates we got to unlock our smelter, power lines, and copper. Again, we've already got these, thankfully, from the drop pod. And we have walls with nothing inside. But we do now have power in the form of a biomass generator. We're not going to turn that on quite yet. First thing, though, we're going to do our upgrade 3. Now, we don't have wire yet. Unfortunately, yeah, we don't have any wire yet. So we are going to have to make our miner. But first, let's store some of these things that we don't actually need. Some of the stuff we can't use for quite a while. So let's make our equipment workshop. We'll just kind of put it, you know what? Let's put it a little bit over here. Let's actually move this back. Thankfully, we can deconstruct and reconstruct everything. You don't lose any materials when you do that. So we can do that as many times as we want. Let's make 3 of these portable miners. And we'll toss 1 on the iron node. We'll toss 1 over here on the copper node. And we'll put 1 way back here in the middle of nowhere on this limestone node. Unfortunately, this is a long ways away, but it is what it is for now. We shouldn't have to do too much this hand chiseling and collecting. We should only have to do this for a few more minutes, and then we should have our miner running, our smelter, our constructor, and making this all automated. It is interesting, though. I haven't done hand mining like that in so long. It's been probably a couple of years since I started a brand new factory, so this is it's actually kind of interesting to do this all from scratch again. And then the long process of handcrafting wires. I really hope we don't have to do this very much. It should only be a few times before we actually are able to completely automate everything-ish. For the most part, you don't do a whole lot of handcrafting other than the first like 20-25 minutes of the game. And then you never have to worry about it again, which is nice. All right, we should have everything we should need here now to do phase 3. And going into hub 4, phase upgrade 4, we're gonna unlock conveyor poles as well as our conveyor belts. So basically, once you have this, you can go directly from a miner into a smelter, etc. And the problem is, it's gonna take 75 plates, which I think we actually have, but it's also gonna take cables, which we're gonna get from wires, and concrete. Thankfully, I've already put down our concrete on our limestone, so we can convert that right away. Before we go up there, let's start placing some of our buildings. So we're gonna do our constructor. I'm gonna put it kind of in line here, just in preparation for our miner, which we should get, I think, the next upgrade, if I remember correctly. We'll toss you there. Now, I actually don't think, yeah, we need concrete for that. So let's just put this connected to power for now. That way, at least we can get some plates running. Or some iron running, I mean. So let's put this. We'll fill you with iron. And we have power. So that should be auto crafting now. It'll only do 100. We're gonna have to move it over there into our constructor once we have power to that. Unfortunately, we only power one item at a time until we get this upgrade done. So I gotta run back up behind the mountain and collect the limestone. And with concrete acquired, we can now place down power poles. So I'm gonna put a line out to here and then connect this and this. So you can see we can do 4 items off of this power pole. So we'll do another one going this way so that we can do copper and up to our limestone. So we can get that all kind of running properly. Now, I think I have to turn this on. Oh, it's already on. So we'll take these out, toss them in here. We're going to do iron plates. That should be going now. Let's get some more iron out of here. And we can complete upgrade 4, which I believe it said give us conveyor belts. So we can, instead of having to move that by hand, we'll now be able to automate that. And that upgrade actually gave us an interior, which this is all new. So there is a toilet. I had read there is a toilet, and apparently you can put stuff in it. Let's put this in. Okay. Does the flush work? And you can flush it. It makes a hell of a mess though. It's also weird that the flush button was behind the seat. That's kind of strange, isn't it? It does eliminate the item. That is pretty funny. Also, I believe, yeah, okay, so here we can customize our Pioneer. So I wonder if we actually unlock like more helmets and stuff or anything as we go. Let's just do a little bit of upgrades here or changes. I'm gonna go with like let's go with like a light blue, dark blue, I don't know. So now for upgrade 5, we're actually gonna finally get our miners and storage, but this is gonna require, again, 75 rods, 50 cable, and 20 concrete, which I actually have everything except for the rods. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that, let's change this to rods really quick. And then while we're doing this, while this is kind of smelting up, let's start setting up, let's change you. Like that, put you in there. Let's do some belt work. Perfect. Let's also start setting up our next line. So eventually we'll get splitters and stuff where we won't have to do like one miner per construction line. But until then, what we're gonna do is we're actually just going to, well, we're gonna be out of wire. So let's get some wire and then let's start doing this. So I'm hoping we have enough power to do this, and we actually don't. Okay, well that doesn't help what I was trying to do. I did turn on our copper node over there, as well as this line for iron plates. I was hoping to do this line here for our iron rods, but instead what we're gonna do is we'll just take the iron that's in this one and we'll toss it in there. So we kind of get a little bit of both going here. We have a decent amount of plates. Wait, this is already set to iron rods. Other way around. I want to do this one to be plates and this one to be rods, because now we actually have everything we need to finish our milestone here. And finally, in upgrade 6, we're going to get our biomass burner with our biomass and our space elevator. So the space elevator kind of completes the tutorial, and that's really what the main goal is. We're going to rebuild the space elevator, and I believe we're going to start sending things up to it. But you can see here requires 100 of everything and then 50 of our concrete, which concrete I don't have a constructor on yet. So we do have another biomass bio burner now though, so we can get more power. We're gonna get a total of 20, I think we get 40 total. Put that in there. If we get 40, we should be able to crank both of these on. Did we also get our miner just then? We did get our miner, so let's crank that on as well. Pick you up. We'll put our miner down. Now these miner, thankfully they snap to the node. Not very well, at least until we get our concrete foundations down. But at least we can start kind of putting things in here, and basically we're automating. Don't have to worry about anything in here other than storage, which I think we can make. Yes, we can. So I'll put one of you there. Same thing over here. I'm not going to do the miner over here quite yet. I want to make, Where's the line? That's very odd. That doesn't look like it's lined up at all. And it's not. Well, that's stupid. Oh, it's because this is not lined up. No. Okay. I'm not gonna put a miner on that quite yet, just because I want to make sure I can get our copper going and our limestone going. If we can automate that stuff, then we are good to go. So I didn't realize I didn't hook this up. So that second iron line actually is going to kill this if I turn on our concrete. Thankfully we had 100 in here, so I should be able to actually craft the 50 that we need. You know what? I'm just gonna hook this up, and then we'll kill the power. When I go back, I'll turn off either the iron line, one of the iron lines, or the copper line, and we'll get our concrete running, I guess. So by disconnecting our copper line, we are able to get back up and running. And while we're waiting, I'm actually gonna run over here and we're gonna pick up the Mercer sphere. I don't really know what to expect. This has always been a work in progress, so I'm hoping this kind of tells us more about the story, but I really don't know. What I do want to do though is I want to put our hub kind of on this little island once we get foundations and stuff. And it's talking? Did it used to talk? I don't think so. Let's see. Also, they've definitely changed the look of this. I don't think it used to have this rock around it. I think it was just the sphere before.
The astrobiologist Dr. D.M. Mercer was the first to recognize the presence and probable nature of these alien artifacts. These chain-melted state spheres are named in his honor. Each sphere emits a unique signal and will require study to determine local application, store it for later use.
Interesting. Okay, so it didn't give us much about them other than a little information on the dock or whatever. We also ran out of power again. I wonder if it's because we've actually run out of leaves. I put like 250 in there, and I bet you it's already out, which is so fast. Yeah, we're already out. And this one, I put 500 in here. We're already down to 100. Oh my, it goes so fast. It's using 80 per minute, so we're gonna get 1 minute of construction out of this. Well, our power did run out, but thankfully we have enough materials that we can move on and actually expand our power, as well as create stuff into biomass, so we don't have to worry about using just leaves anymore, which is so nice. So we completed the tutorial. Our hub is complete. Now we're probably gonna move it around somewhere else, but you can see our drones coming in. Whenever we send stuff away, it takes our drone, takes it up to wherever it goes. I don't actually know where it goes at the moment until we build the space elevator, but it definitely takes it somewhere. So let's check out our first tier. So tier 1, we are gonna start with base building, logistics, and field research. So base building gives us our foundations, our lookout tower, some walls. Logistics gives us our splitters and the ability to go like vertical with our lifts. And field research is maps and whatever else. The MAM is going to be super important. This is where we get the alternate recipes. And then we go on to tier 2 and all that stuff, which we'll discuss probably next episode. But for today, I want to get our base building going and logistics for sure. So we need more power to turn everything back on so we can actually create this stuff. But thankfully, I've been collecting a ton of wood, and wood converts conveniently into an absolute ton of biomass. So I'm gonna sit here and make 2,000 biomass for probably the rest of my life. So the biggest difference, I'm pretty sure it said before it used 80 leaves per minute. Now it's only using 6 biomass. Like they did such a good job with like the conversion of this. I'm pretty sure this didn't used to be as slow as it is now, but 6 per minute. I mean, I didn't even convert it all, and we've got over 1,000 biomass. So plus all these leaves, there's more wood. We should be good to go at least for a little bit, but I need to let these things tick up a bit because I'm out of materials to create a second biomass burner. So now that I can expand our power, it makes the most sense, I think, to add another miner to our limestone because limestone takes 45 per minute to produce 15, which is an absolutely terrible ratio. Our iron and copper is 30 to 30. So you get quite a bit more. Like 15 a minute is just not enough. Now we do have a limestone node right there and an enemy, but I don't even know if can I jump up here actually? I don't know if I can climb this quite yet without platforms. I don't think we can. Oh, we can. Perfect. Okay. Where is he? Right there. For some reason, I was thinking we couldn't get this one until a little bit later on. But there is also, on top of this hill right there, there's also another one. And this one, I don't know if we're going to use this one long term or not, because I kind of think I want to build some other stuff up here. If we leave our hub in this general area, which I don't know if we're going to, but if we do, I kind of want to build it. Is this going to break? I kind of want to build it up here a little bit, but these two limestone nodes kind of prevent that from being useful unless we go kind of higher up. I don't know, but I really like this area. Maybe, oh, maybe up over here, the hub could go on top of this, like against the waterfall. That could be kind of cool, actually. Maybe we'll look at that in the future. But anyways, for now, let's put another miner down. We'll just run it over this way. There's not a lot of stuff, not a lot of room on this platform. At least in the direction that I'm facing. We'll add some power. I'll just kind of join our power down to there. And then, it's gonna be ugly, but I'm gonna try to let's put this to concrete. Oh, I don't have our thing quite yet to go up and down. So this, will it work? Oh, I saw it right there. We'll lift it up. All right, that'll work. It's ugly, but it'll work. Well, that is absolutely terrible, but it'll work for now. Once we get our splitters and our mergers, we'll be able to bring the other storage that's up here, and we'll bring it down around this little hill, and we'll connect the two of them. For now, though, we have to run up here and kind of go back and forth between the two, which is okay. It's not a big deal. I could bring this down, I guess. I guess I probably should, right? This is just so ugly. And there we go. Another super ugly spaghetti belt line, but whatever. It brings both of our concrete nodes together, and then, like I said, we'll merge them later. But that should be, so it's 159 out of 200. We're almost there. Almost there. I think I have everything I need now, so let's put these in here. Let's complete our very first actual milestone.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
They're really pushing the fact that we're like stuck here permanently and we should only be working for the company. Anyways, we can't do anything quite yet. We're locked out for like 2 minutes, I think, while the yeah, 1:20 while the space pod or the pod returns. But we're gonna start looking at our next milestone, which is gonna be our splitters and conveyor belts, mergers, and the vertical conveyor belts. That's what I was trying to say. But with this now, we can actually create our foundations. I probably should have went the other way, like doing the other one first. But I really feel that foundations are pretty much the most important thing you can do in this game. I can't make many yet, unfortunately. Let's get the rest of our concrete. And then I'm actually gonna start tearing down all the structures we have over here. We'll do one at a time just so we don't have to worry about like completely starving all of our production. But what I wanna do is I wanna start building our foundations here. Now, we could hold control, which lines us up to the world grid, which for the most part, we probably will do. But I hate the angle that this is at for this node. It just doesn't work if I want to build this direction. I don't like that. What I think we're going to do is we're actually going to try to get it kind of similar to this. So like something like that, I think is cool. It's not quite on the world grid, but it's also not quite like too, I want to build kind of to the environment at least a little bit. I don't have a lot of this to like actually go very far out. So let's just do a few of these. Like so. And then we can start building this back in, and then now everything's gonna snap properly, and it's so nice. That's almost perfectly centered. So good. It's so satisfying to have this stuff kind of somewhat lined up. I think if I go there, it's enough room. I want to be able to put a splitter in here eventually. You know what? Let's go a little bit forward. Right here. Constructor can go right there. Reattach. We'll do power to here. So I do want to build our storage boxes kind of far away. Eventually what I'd like to do, I want to do some building up here for kind of our next tier of stuff, like when we get into reinforced plates and stuff. And I want to put all of our storage kind of along this little ledge here, so we can walk across the top and then be able to like pick things up for like kind of like a mall of resources. The only bad thing about this is I'm kind of killing our plate production that we kind of need right now. We're down to 41. I'm gonna let our rods, actually, are we close on rods? Okay, we have enough rods, so let's take this out now while we're waiting for our plates to tick up. Basically, all I'm waiting for is that, which I probably should do that really quick instead of doing this, but that's okay. We'll kill a little bit of time and we'll be good to go. And the reason for that is because here we're putting out 120 ore into a smelter that's only using 30. Now, unfortunately, because we're using our Mark 1 belts, these can only transport 60 at a time, but that still leaves 30 being unused at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put another constructor here. Now, our power is probably not going to like this. Oh, I need to move that back one. I don't like where that is. As dumb as that sounds, the aesthetics of this need to be lined up. So normally when you do splitters, you can just snap it to an existing line, but typically for things that are going to be here for a while, I don't know why, but I don't like doing that. I would rather line this up and kind of get it where I want it, especially because this belt from here is probably not perfectly straight. I mean, in this case, it actually is perfectly straight, but a lot of times it's not. So I kind of like to do this. Now, the one thing that's a cool feature is it used to be that if you wanted to make this curve really nice, you'd kind of go to about here, place that down, and then curve it in, which is perfectly fine, but it's kind of slow. Now, if you just hit R and change your build mode, it does it for you, and it's perfectly straight every time, and it's awesome. Probably the best feature they put in this game, to be totally honest. We are now set up. We're now putting out 60 plates a minute instead of our 30. We'll do the same with concrete in a second, but I do need to check our power because I'm pretty sure we are probably, yeah, we're right at the limit. So let's add another one of these in. Let's get some plates first. Thankfully, we just upped our production of plates. So with that biomass burner, it's going to put us up to a capacity of about 100. We're kind of using around 50, it seemed like. But I want to put at least 2 more constructors down. That's not true. I want to put 1 more constructor down in our concrete area. And then I want to split our copper as well. So let's actually start by getting rid of this absolutely janky mess of nonsense. I really don't like spaghetti factories quite this bad. My math was kind of off. I was thinking that we'd be able to put a 3rd constructor here, but we can't because the nodes are putting out 60 and the belt can only take 60 and the constructor's taking 45 apiece. So eventually we'll be able to split it to a 3rd one, kind of. But for now, let's just put this on to some foundations. I think the world grid will work here. Yeah. Ooh, it's kind of low. Can I lift that? That's what we want right there. So at least this way we can like be prepared to to expand kind of in the future. So we'll put this here. I think I'll do this whole thing. Where does the miner land? There. Get rid of these. But 2 up is probably fine. That's probably okay. Yeah. I'd like that to sit a little bit better, but that's fine. We'll put the miner back on here now, and I think it should fit relatively straight. I mean, I don't like that it sits up like that, but that's fine. Well, it's not like that much better, but just having this kind of on foundations and over here into an actual like proper storage area is just so much nicer. I do notice we're out of power there though. Is that because it's not connected? It's definitely because it wasn't connected. Now that we have everything up on foundations, we've done our iron over there, our concrete's up and running back here. We now have our copper up on a platform here. And I've also added a second smelter. So again, this is going to take in 30 and produce 30. Let's turn this on. We seem to have, I've got a decent amount of power at the moment, so we might as well turn this stuff on. What I want to do though is I want to take this and we're going to put this into wire as well. Again, it's taking in 15. So actually, let's be smart about this. Let's actually take this out. Do this. I'm going to put a splitter in here, not a merger, splitter. And let's actually do this. And then set this to wire. We'll put this in there. Set that to wire. So we're taking in 15, we're producing 30. So now we're producing 60 wire per minute. And I think what we'll do is we'll add another constructor here, again with attached, and we'll set this to cabling. So this takes in 60 and outputs 30. So actually, just because, yeah, just because I want to put it kind of somewhat straighter, let's put our constructor here. We'll expand this. Toss back our organizer here. Right there should be fine. And we'll put a merger on this line, going into that constructor, and then from here into there. So now we're producing 60 wire, 30 in each, into this. This is now taking 60 cable and 60 wire and producing 30 cable. So if we apply power to this, which I think I have a node right there, that should now be doing that for us. And then, hang on, we're not done. And then we'll add another smelter here, but instead of putting in both constructors, we'll just put in one for now. That way we're not like going crazy on our power. I wish those trees were not there. I don't have a chainsaw yet, so we can't cut them down even. But now this is taking 60 out of here, 30 to there, 30 to here. We're gonna use 30 to produce 30, and then we're only gonna actually use 15 of it. So we are gonna have like a 15 excess that we'll be able to use in the future. But for now, this is more than enough to get us kind of like progressing forward to the end of this tier. So the last thing I kind of want to do this episode is I want to get our screw production going so we can finish our field research, and then next episode move into our tier 2 stuff. But we need to look at this a little bit. So we're producing 30 iron ore into 30 iron ingots. Then that's going into here, which is 15 iron ingots for 15 rods per minute. So we have 10 iron rods, our iron ingots not being used. Now our screws are going to require 10 iron rods into 40 screws. So right now we have 15 kind of being not used. So we could kind of do this in a couple of ways. What I'm thinking, it's probably more power than it's worth, and we actually need to move this because I think I'm gonna have to expand our power. So I want to kind of plan a better area for this, and then we'll kind of finish our screw production. And there we go. So it's definitely not perfect and it's not permanent, but at least this is a lot better than having everything just kind of laying on the ground in the middle of nowhere. So I added an extra one of these biomass burners. So these ones burn a little bit more. This actually produces 30, those produce 20. And as you can see, I'm not actually using them anymore. I don't really want to use those at all anymore, simply because these have inputs on them that they've just recently added. So now with our storage here, I can toss all of our biomass in here and just let these things feed forever. And we shouldn't run out anytime soon. These are all full with 200 each. There's close to 1,000 in here. We've got tons and tons of power for at least a little while. And then if we need to, we can also branch off this side of the splitter and double our power. So I think we're good for now. As I was saying before, these constructors are going to take in 15 ingots per minute and produce 15 rods per minute. So we're producing 30 total, and then our screw production is going to take in 10 per minute to produce 40 screws. Well, there's no point in producing more than 2 constructors worth of screws, simply because our belts can only handle 40. So if we're producing 2, we're going to be already oversaturating our belt, and we don't get upgraded belts till the next tier. So what I'm kind of thinking is we do a little bit of configuring here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. I'll put a merger here, right there. Okay. Now we'll take a splitter, and I think if I figure this out correctly, I'm hoping I'm doing this correctly anyways. We'll put a splitter there. I'll toss 2 constructors in. Let's just do 1 here and 1 next to it. And again, we will put this in here. So this should be taking 10 here, 10 here, and then this should also be outputting 10, right? So it should do the round robin. It should merge all of our 30 here and then do 1, 1, and 1, which at least this will take us. So we'll have a little bit of excess coming off of our rods, because right now we're not going to actually be producing any rods other than this 10. So we're going to be a little short on rods for the first little bit, but we could also add another smelter and we can figure that out. I just think that for now, there's really no point in expanding it too much. If we want, we add the smelter, no big deal. But I think we're gonna probably end up doing a bunch of other upgrading stuff pretty quickly, including the fact that I'm hoping next episode, actually pretty much as soon as we turn this on, we're gonna have our screw production done, and then we're gonna be able to connect. I guess just connect that like that. I guess it's fine. We're not connected. Why are we not connected? We're not connected because that needs to go there, and that. What have I done? I have made an absolute mess of this explanation I was trying to do. I figured out my problem. So what I was saying, now that we have this kind of going, we'll turn these on. Once our screws are done, we're going to unlock our MAM, which is going to let us research those 2 hard drives. And I'm hoping that the first 1 or 2 recipes we get is going to be the alternate screw recipe. If we get that, and if it hasn't changed, I'm hoping they didn't change it because it's one of the best in the game. Basically what it does is it eliminates the need for these iron rod constructors. You go straight from ingots, straight to screws. It makes the screw production so much better. I'm actually pretty sure it even takes less ingots and outputs more screws. So if that hasn't changed and we get that early on, it kind of defeats this whole purpose. So I'm hoping we get that next episode. But I'm going to let this tick up for a bit. We'll get everything we need so we can complete our tier 1 stuff. We'll have that ready to go next episode. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it here. It's getting late. I need to sleep. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. If you have any comments or you want to see more, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you next time.